And we're live.
Hi.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
We are live. So welcome everyone to our text marketing.
Yes.
We are talking text marketing today.
Yes, welcome everyone. Thank you for joining us here, whether it's on YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook, wherever you're joining from. Thank you so much for being here. My name is Clayton Mask. I am a product marketing manager here at Keap, and I am joined by two fabulous product managers. We're really looking forward to the next little bit of time we get to spend here with you. So, do each of you want to introduce yourself? Let us get to know you a little better.
Yeah. Hey everyone, excited to see everyone again. My name is Dan Navarro. I'm a group product manager here. I oversee our communications products, anything related to do with email, Keap Business Line, text messaging, and I have an amazing.
Hello, yeah, I'm Stacey Fabian. I get the pleasure of working with these two, but I am here to represent the team that has built our text marketing feature. I myself was a business owner and customer before I became a Keeper. It is kind of the dream to be working here finally and getting to help build this product that's going to help all of you solve problems. And we are beyond excited to talk about how you can use text in your business to solve a lot of problems to get communication out the door.
Yeah, it's pretty exciting. I mean, we've got some exciting things that we're going to go over with you. I wish so much that we could just cut down the technical fourth wall here. I wish you could be here in person with us. I mean, it's exciting. We miss you. We love you. While you're joining in, if you could put in the chat where you're joining us from, we'd love to know where you're at across the country, across the world, and give you some shout outs. So, as the title of this live, wherever you're coming to us from, as the title of our slides here show, we are here to talk about a brand new feature that has been released in Keap, and that feature is text marketing. It is, again, I mean, I hope you can feel some of this excitement. It is some fun, exciting stuff. We're going to get into some really great things. We'll talk about compliance. We'll talk about use cases. We'll talk about the feature. We'll get into the app, show you a couple of things there. But this is a great way for you as an entrepreneurial small business to grow your business, to reach your audience through other mediums, right? I mean, how many times as a small business owner do you send out an email and you think to yourself, oh, I hope it gets read. You know, I hope I get some eyeballs on this. You know, we deal with 20, 30% open rates, and don't get me wrong, email is great. It's not going away. It's a medium that you have to leverage to get your message out. But now you can augment it with text marketing. Right?
Yes. It's an excellent addition to that communication arsenal. We have to have multi-channel marketing. It is no longer that you can just be talking to your users and your contacts in one place. You have to be all over the place in order to reach people where they are. And let's be honest, we probably all have our phones in our back pocket or sitting on our desk right now. So text is definitely one of those key elements. And it looks like we have people from across the country come in, and we've got people here locally in Arizona. We've got Wisconsin, Maryland. This is pretty exciting to have so many people joining us today.
That is the positive of not having it in person, right? You can reach out to everyone. So thank you so much. Jeffrey, Sherry, Delray, thank you for being here. We're excited to open this up to each of you. So I say we jump right in.
Let's
do have any objections?
We have some exciting stuff to show.
Yes,
Yeah.
let's get into the compliance side of things. You know, the rules. There's some regulations that we have to be aware of as we're communicating with our audience through text. You got to make sure you're playing by the rules, right? Any game you play, you have to make sure you play by the rules. And with texting, text marketing, there are some very important rules that we need to keep in mind. So, Dan, why don't you go dig into compliance a little bit for us? Tell us what rules we need to follow.
Yeah, I'd love to. And I think the thing to consider with compliance, it's not just about the rules that are in place. Like the laws are actually pretty complex, and the great thing is that Keap does a lot of the heavy lifting for you. We're very compliance forward, but the main reason is that when you're compliance forward, you actually get the messages out to the people that want to receive your messages, and it makes the return of that communication so much more valuable. If you think about texting, like as Stacey mentioned, you have your phone in your pocket, you're communicating via text message with your friends, your family members, the people that you love the most. And when you're receiving text messages from people that maybe are unknown to you or that are unwanted, it creates this like really awkward feeling. At least for me, it does. Like I receive text messages all the time about people wanting to buy my house. I don't know how to get my phone number, and it's a really uncomfortable text message, and I try to play around with it and have fun, but it's not returning the value I'm sure that business owner wants to have when they're sending unwanted messages. So the thing to consider about compliance is that it's there to protect you as a business owner. First of all, there's a lot of complex laws around it. And then secondarily is to provide you the value as a business owner to communicate to the people that want to communicate. a really simple way to encompass all the complexity behind the laws is that they're there to protect the consumer, the person receiving the text message. And they're there to say that people that receive text messages should want to receive these text messages. So the laws try to go or make that happen. So let's talk about the kind of the three most important parts of compliance. Number one is you have to get explicit written consent. And Keap does the heavy lifting for you there. We're going to showcase how we do that in the product with Stacy's demo. And there are a few ways that we do it now, and we're really excited because we're going to continue to invest in compliance to make it easier for you, the business owner, to get that compliance, get that opt-in, and then send those valuable messages out. The second thing that Keap does is that we track all of that compliance. So when someone opts in, when someone opts out, that's all stored so you don't have to think about it. Again, we're doing the heavy lifting for you, the user. And the last thing, and the thing that we believe is we're doing this to help you, the small business owner, grow. There is a cost associated to text marketing, which we'll talk about in a little bit, but we are not going to charge you, the user, for any compliance-related messages. And we do this because we want you to get the value of text marketing. We do this so that you can get not only get the value, but get those opt-ins for those people that are wanting to receive those messages. So we're not going to charge for any content or any compliance-related messages, only for the messages that you intend to send to your contacts. So we're really excited about those three things. Again, we help you get written consent, we track all the statuses for you, and we're not going to charge you a penny for any of that.
I think that's one of my favorite parts, is that we've gone to the lengths that as a business owner, I don't have to manage that. I don't have to think about that.
Yeah.
None of you are going to have to figure out who are my opted-in users and exclude them from lists. We're going to take care of that for you. So really, really great way to be compliance forward and be sure that the business owner gets the value immediately.
Yeah, that's pretty neat. I love that it's just baked in, right? I mean, how simple. My wife owns a graphic design agency. She has 900 things to do every hour, right? It seems like there's so many things, it's chaotic. And there's a difference when she gets into a tool and it's got baked in functionality, baked in easy to use features like that versus when it doesn't. You can tell. And I get excited. I mean, I want to get this into my wife's hands and have her start using it. It's pretty fun.
Yeah, that's a really good point. People got into business to do the thing that they're passionate about, right? Not to learn about all the laws and all the complications around running a business. And we're trying to be that personal assistant for the small business owner where they don't have to think about the details.
Right.
I want to share one interesting stat. We've learned so much about compliance in some of our earlier tests. We initially launched an alpha test of this functionality to a small cohort of users, and we didn't have compliance built in. And very quickly we saw that opt-out rates when compliance wasn't built in was 30 to 50% for some of these small business owners. And by the way, the contacts are having to figure out how to opt out. So it's not like we made it very apparent for them to know how to opt out. They figured it out on their own, and it was a 30 to 50% opt-out rate. With the compliance built in, we're only seeing 7 to 8%. And that's with our current state. Again, Stacy's going to show you a lot more about what we do with compliance, and we're going to do so much more to help you get opt-in. So that number is actually going to reduce over time.
Yeah.
And every message that you sent out is going to be a value-driven message, something that you intend to send and that is going to provide you the user value and also your contact value. Yeah. So we're really excited about what we're doing and making sure that we're compliance forward to make it easier for you and more valuable for you.
Yeah, I love that. And I think too, we're kind of nebulous right now, so it's going to be great to get into the app, right?
Yeah.
Let's show you.
Get
we talk
into it
about
now.
compliance. We talk about these words. Let's get some concrete visuals, right? As we're doing that, as we're making this shift, please, I'm sure you have questions. Feel free to put them in the chat. We will get to your questions. We want to make sure that you come along with us in this journey, and that any questions, comments, concerns you have, put them in there. We've got some time at the end of the live show here for questions, but we want to make sure no open loop is left open. We want to make sure we get those loops closed. So
let's get into it.
Yes, let's get into it.
All right.
I talked about all the fun stuff. I'm going to leave you guys to it.
You got the Thank you so much, Dan.
Thank you, Dan.
Yeah. Let's get into it. If you are excited to see this in action, throw some emojis in there, throw some thumbs up. We are pumped. You can probably feel it. Hopefully you can feel it through the screen. We are excited to give this to you. So let's talk use cases, shall we?
Yeah.
So one of the most common use cases I think that we like to share with individuals is people, like we said, text is right there. It is immediate. So a follow-up. And we can classify follow-up in lots of different ways, right? Like your wife may be following up on a project that she has, project plan that she has put out to a customer. Maybe we're following up with people who filled out a form. Maybe we're following up on an email that went out. So follow up is, of course, the fortune is in the follow up. And so we want to make sure that gets out. There's lots of different ways we can do that in the app. So let's jump in and let's look at one of those examples, shall we? We have a really powerful tool in here that's called Easy Automations. And I'm going to use it as a method of, we're going to ask customers for a review. That's the follow-up that's happening. So I want to get in here and just show you super quick. But again, I want to talk through this. Our Easy Automations tool, if you're a customer of Keap already, you know this. And if you are not a customer yet, then you should get in here and use it because it is incredibly valuable. But it's simple when and then. So when something happens, then do this. And in this case, we could say when a product is purchased from us, then wait 7 days and request that review through an email. And then a minute later, let's send a text because you might want to share some information in that email. And you're not going to want to put all that content into a text message. Nobody wants to read an email in a text format. Let's all think about our friend who sends us far too long of a text message and we sit there trying to read through it. No, thank you. So we are going to go into the app and we're going to say, okay, hey, here's this email that's requesting that review, and we're going to follow it up with a text. So really easily in our product, we have this when action of when the product is purchased. And then we have great timers associated with our actions in here. So we have put in here that when I request this email, I'm going to set the timer, so I'm going to wait 7 days because, of course, we want them to experience what we've provided them, whether it be a product purchased or a service, maybe in your wife's case. And so we're going to wait a little bit and we're going to request that. But we do want to be sure that they check that and they know that we've been thinking about them. So now we can add send a text. And I'm going to pop in here real quick just so you can see. It looks like I'm zoomed in a bit too much here. So I'm going to zoom out just a second. Yeah. That's okay. All right, so one of the things that I just want to cover is here are some of the things to think about when you're sending a text message. So of course, we have to reach our people where they are. We might be working with businesses. We might be working with people who are on their own cell phones, like in a mobile or on a they classify their text-capable number as their home. Really, we deal with lots of different users. So we give you the control and the customization to choose your audience based on the phone type that you've classified them in there. So that's just one of those ways that we give that in there, that we give you the customization and the control. And then you'll see in here that right now it's, hey, it was great working with you. Now notice that little chip is what we call that. That's a technical term, but that little bubble is the merge field. We allow you to merge in information to personalize it. Because let's be honest, if I sent a message to you and said, hey, give me a review, probably not as effective as right? Right. But if I'm like, hey, Clayt, it was great working with you, and I would really like to do more business with you, would you please be willing to give me a review of your experience, right? So definitely an opportunity to personalize the message. We include these merge fields. And then another thing is call to action is really important. Now, of course, I don't actually have a review link. Maybe I should build one and everybody can give us all reviews. But if I had a link, I could throw it in here. And what's really great is because we are worried about your 160 characters. Now, some of the boring stuff is that carriers limit us to 160. So we do what we can to help you utilize those characters as effectively as possible. And so we have given people the opportunity to shorten their links. So we put a link in there and it'll save us our case and it'll be a call to action. So I don't actually have a link to put in there, but maybe I was doing my Google review link and I could shorten that. And it looks like because I don't have my exact link in there, there we go. So I've told me I'm a little bit over, no big deal. I can just change it and fix it for me. So I don't need that link in there and I'm going to pull that out because we're going to move along. But what's great about this, the bottom line is that you are here getting messages out. So you don't have to do the action. So I've just done business with you. You've purchased from me. I don't have to put a timer. I don't have to wait 7 days and then send you out that message. It automatically happens, saving you time and money to do what's really important in your business. So that's a great use case that we have a lot.
Yeah, love that. We've got a question here from GA Pro Wash from YouTube. Can you use it to do a follow-up on reviews for a service-based business? Do you mind if I field
I would
this?
love you to, yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, this is the use case of follow-up can really be applied to every stage of your customer journey, right? It can be after you capture a new lead. It can be as you're nurturing them and extending an offer to them, following up on that offer. It can be as you're closing the deal. You know, if you send out a contract to a potential client and you need them to fill it out, to sign it, you can use text marketing to follow up with that potential client. So there are some great use cases, and GA Pro Wash from YouTube, as you said, yes, absolutely, to capture reviews, to capture referrals on the tail, on the back end of the customer journey, you can certainly leverage text marketing to as well. I mean, it's phenomenal. We kind of glossed over this, but the open rates for text marketing are phenomenal, right? I mean, you
Oh my
can
goodness.
get your message read, right, on time. You don't have to wait. The average open rate, or the average time to open for email, I think it takes 48 hours for 95% of emails to get opened, right?
Yeah.
For texting, that's cut down to 3 minutes, right? I mean,
Yeah.
3 minutes that you have, that's just incredible.
And it's
right?
94% of those messages are going to be read. And there's even another stat I saw the other day that was like 84% of users respond and say that they open every single text message they get. That is a phenomenal opportunity to get into the inbox and into the attention of your end users and your contacts, your everybody that you're working with. And you know, a thing to think about is like, as a business, I want reviews because I'm going to be touting why I'm great to work with, right? And all of you have your value, and your customers that you work with are going to leave you reviews and tell others why they should go with you. And so by using texting to enable that action and quickly get those reviews, now you have value to your business in lots of other ways for current and future states.
Yeah.
Lots of great things there. So that's just one use case.
Yeah.
Let's keep moving.
We've got a few more. I know, and we got to be
so much
cautious
to
of
tell
time
you.
here.
Yeah.
Okay, so if we can get back to slides, yep, great. Let's move on here to our next use case. And I think we can bundle a couple of these
Yes,
together,
we
right?
can.
We'll bundle and then get into the app, and
Let's
then
do
we'll
it,
come
yeah.
back. So, use case number 2. Promotions. Stacy, tell us, what are we talking about here? How do we leverage this?
I gotta imagine we could all come up with a different promotion, but one great use case would be, let's say we've got a holiday coming up and maybe I'm a consultant and so I offer packages, but maybe it's kind of a slow time. Summer tends to be a slow time for a lot of us. So if I'm gonna use maybe a 4th of July sale or a Memorial Day sale, any of those, I can immediately pinpoint those users. And what we do in the app is, of course, we allow you to create a list, whether it be you tag them, whatever the case may be. You set your audience, and then you get to pick a one-time send and you send it out to them. And because we've got this option to personalize it with merge fields, because we've got this option to throw call to actions in there through links, you can really quickly start sharing with people what you're doing. So it could be maybe 50% off of my consulting package if you book by X date, right? And you create that immediacy, and people are going to take action, and you're going to have an increase in your value to your business. And what a great way to fill your calendar and fill your schedule. Maybe it could also be that if somebody, you could use it as like a follow-up promotion. So hey, if you refer me, then you get this discount on your next purchase with me. I'm thinking of, like, I have this ice cream shop that I love near us. They do this delicious coconut ice cream, and they're constantly sending me promotions. It immediately makes me think, oh, I do want ice cream. I didn't know I wanted ice cream, now I do. Like, what a great way to use texting, because it gets to me immediately. And then of course my kids want it, so then we go get ice cream. So that's a purchase that I probably wouldn't have made had I not had that reminder in my inbox, in my email or my text inbox.
Totally. Flash sales, specific. Black Friday is on the horizon. It's going to sneak up on us pretty quick. I mean, using text marketing to get your message read, great way to
Absolutely.
to get that influx of cash, right?
I would,
that we
yes.
all so desperately need. Right?
Especially right now, yes.
Right. Okay, so let's take a look here at use case number 3. Let's get those slides back up and clicker. There we go. So event reminders. I mean, again, I think we can all kind of think about how we do that, but speak a little bit more to how we can leverage text marketing, particularly if we're hosting an event.
Yeah, I think everyone can probably think of a time when they either were going to attend an event and or they were hosting an event and whoops, the time passed and some people didn't participate or we forgot about it. So what a great way to use text that comes into you immediately and pulls your attention, and maybe an hour before the event it's a reminder, or even if you have a change in maybe your link or your location. I'm also thinking about, like, if we had an on-site event. I know we have all been missing those because we haven't had those in so long, but let's say we do have an on-site event and there's a room change for one of my sessions that I'm scheduled for. What a great thing if I get a text message that tells me, hey, great news, your marketing session is now moved to room 3 instead of room 2. And then the thing that we're noticing, though, is that when emails go out, users definitely, customers tell us, I'm not getting people attending my events. And so that's really what this use case you want to consider is you can definitely improve those who actually come to your events because you are giving them the link, A, right there in the text message, B, you're telling them where to go if it's not a link, or C, really, you're just immediately in front of them reminding them that they need to participate. We see a lot of people do 24-hour reminders and 1-hour reminders because, again, you want to protect how often. You do not want to send them a text message every day leading up to the event. They're going to get annoyed. They might be excited about the event, but not that excited. So you do want to protect sending too many text messages, but when we're talking about event reminders, it's a great way to basically fill those seats where people have said they would participate, especially if you're offering a free event. There's just that innate human nature to walk away from that because I didn't pay any dollars for it. So having a reminder is a helper.
Yeah, live events, webinars. I mean, even consultations. My wife does, she has a consultative sales process. It's great to send texts to make sure that people, I mean, how frustrating is it when you have a consultation scheduled and they don't show up?
Yes.
So you can send these texts to make sure that they show up. Your time is your money, right? So if you have an hour blocked off for a consultation and they don't show up, that's an hour where you've got to scramble to try and find something else. I mean, we all have lots of things to do, but that is just valuable time that we don't want to take lightly. Another thing too, I mean, let's say you have a cancellation. Let's say you've got an event scheduled a consultation scheduled for tomorrow, and someone cancels. You can send out a text. You've got a short window of time there. Send out a text. Again, leverage those high open rates and try to fill that slot. I mean, it's just. It's a wonderful tool.
It is. I want to deviate for just a second. I see a question that we had from Mario on Facebook. He was asking about, do we take care of paying taxes? So when it comes to text messaging, we're definitely not going to be the ones that are going to take care of filing your taxes and those things. But I do want to just give you a side trail of we do offer invoicing inside of our product, and you can include taxes on there. And we have actually seen a lot of people use text to send that invoice or to follow up and say thank you for paying your invoice, an invoice reminder, those types of things. Definitely of high value to incorporate all of that into your product, and Keep's texting feature can still be of value and help you make sure you close that loop. So want to make sure we answered that one for you.
Love it. Love it. Yeah. Okay, I've got to do a better job. I got to keep us on track.
Let's keep going.
We don't have a whole lot of time left.
We
want to
so
make sure
yeah.
we leave time for your questions. So let's get the slides back up. Let's bundle these last two use cases together,
please.
and then
we'll show you.
We'll get into some questions. So use case number 4 is email engagement. While I've got this pulled up, I'm just going to go to the 5th one.
I think that sounds great.
So email engagement and timely updates. We kind of touched on timely updates a little bit, but let's speak to each of these.
Yeah.
Pick your favorite one.
Pick my
and
poison.
Let's chat about it.
So I think timely updates is kind of where we've alluded to the entire time. Text is immediate. Text is right there. People read their text messages, and so timely updates can be used in a lot of different ways. I'm thinking about a couple of use cases I've actually seen customers using in the product. Maybe like a daycare, and perhaps it's in a snow area, and there's a delay to start of school, or perhaps a sports team that has a change of location for playing, where they are going to be practicing that day because maybe there was some flooding or something. Like lots of different immediate timely updates. Those are the types of things that are definitely that fit inside of that text marketing realm. And then I think if we're also talking about just email follow-up, we've talked about this a few times. You definitely have emails that don't always get read and texts do. So you can follow up some of those important emails. But the one thing, if you remember nothing else from what we're talking about here, be cognizant of how many text messages you send. Yes, it is going to help you get action, but too much texting is just going to turn your customers off. You do want to be very aware. And there's not a magic formula because every business and every customer base is different, but this is allowing you to help engage in that communication, and that's where I think the use case before of email engagement helps. And I think I'm curious, when your wife is doing her business, are there like different tools that she's got, all these different tools to make things happen?
Yeah, there's 14 different things that she's bouncing back and forth between. Right.
Yeah, so one of the things I think we actually forgot to really tout that is amazing about this product is how integrated it is in, how integrated it is into our product. So the last thing that I do want to show you when we switch to a demo in just a second is where it's integrated into the product, and you can see how you can pull in your user lists that you have your contact lists, but also how valuable would it be to have one place to see all the communication that you've sent out. And that is what is huge about this product, is that it's integrated. You no longer have to start implementing a bunch of plug and play pieces.
Yeah. So if you didn't capture that from what Stacy just said, let me clarify. We have a question. Do you need a third-party tool for this? No. You do not need a third-party tool to send text messages with Keep. It is native. You can send it straight from the platform. And I want to touch on that a little bit more. I mean, how incredible is it that, yes, Keep is a sales and marketing automation platform, but it's so much more than that, right? We've got email marketing and text marketing, like we've been talking about today. There's a super powerful CRM in the platform. We have sales pipeline, fulfillment pipeline capabilities, invoicing, quotes, payments, reviews. I mean, it goes on and on and on. It really does feel like you can do a lot that you need to do for your customers and their journey directly from within Keap. And it's so great to be able to add text marketing to just level everything up, right? To just make it all so much better.
Yeah. Let's get into our final demo and show you, because I'm sure some of you are itching to see. We showed you just a little bit. Let me show you a bit more. I'm going to show you our broadcast feature, and we call it broadcast because you're broadcasting out to a list. So think about this. In your brain, I'm sure some of you could give us examples in the chat of how you would use this. But think about a list or a subset of your contact list that you would like to send a message to. I'm thinking about maybe I've got some hot leads, and I want to be sure that I'm offering this opportunity that I have to work with me because I've got an open spot on my calendar. Maybe somebody canceled for next week, and so I want to fill that time. To your point, as small business owners, our time is incredibly valuable. So coming on in here, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to find my list. Now I have created a list that is my hot leads, and I have leads, so maybe I've classified these in a bunch of different ways. So I'm going to choose my hot leads list. And what I love about the way that we've built this product is we're giving you insight into how this information is going to reach out to your contacts. So again, we're giving you that option. You're going to notice this looks familiar. We give you that option to pick how you're going to reach out to them, what phone number type makes sense for your users. We are also telling you a little bit of data cleanup opportunity. You may have some contacts in here that don't have phone numbers. So we're trying to give you insight into that, because not only is it our responsibility to do this in a compliant way, we want to have you do this in an effective way. And so we have built in lots of places within the app that we're giving you this intuitive information to help you make the most of your effort and time. So in here, then I'm gonna set this out of hey, and I'm gonna use my merge field to pull in their first name, because again, personalization is gonna get that action. I have an opening next week. Would you like to book with me? And obviously you are all much better marketers. They're gonna have maybe a little bit more of a personalization here, but I could also put my booking link in there and that type of a thing. So before I go into that though, I wanna call this out, and I think you all can see it good. So I wanna just give you a quick view into what our opt-in flow looks like. So I talked about it, and let me just touch on these. There are multiple ways that we help you collect that opt-in. So one is that users can inbound keyword text to you. The keywords available to you right now are yes and join. And I can imagine our marketers are going crazy with ideas of how you could use that, maybe from stage in an email market on a social media. Hey, text this word, and probably join is a really common case. Like text join to and give them your number that we provide you when you set up your Keap marketing number, which is your texting number, and people are opted in. So now they're going to get their messages. But if you don't have that yet, if you haven't done that, you have this option here where we're going to send out this compliance request message, this opt-in request message. Again, as Dan mentioned, we are covering the compliance for you. So you can personalize this to make sure that people know who it's coming from, which is really, really great. And then we confirm with them, hey, you're opted in, and then your message goes out. Now this is only on the first time that a user needs to opt in, because again, legally we need to have express written consent, which is such a really boring legal way to say that, but really what we're doing here is we're just collecting that consent in writing so that you are good to go as a customer. And then I see Sarah is asking a question. That how do we reconcile those from this page or somewhere else in the app when it comes to duplicate records? So everybody's database is going to be completely different. We're giving you that insight here, and then there are lots of options within our contact management and all the contact record system to merge your duplicates. But in here, then you can see at least who these people are to go and find them and update your records as necessary. But also to that point, kind of side connected to that, is that we will actually make sure that we don't send to anyone who is opted out, which is really wonderful, because again, you don't need to have to go through and say, okay, who are the people in here who opted out? We just won't send to them. So again, we're taking care of that compliance for you. And then finally in here, what I love about this is that I might only have time once or twice a week to make my messages, but I know that I want something to go out on Thursday, I want something to go out on Saturday, whatever the case may be. In my broadcasting, oops, I forgot to give it a name. So this is I'm not remembering. We're going to go into next. I want to show you here. So what's really great about this is that you can choose whether you send it now or later. Again, we're trying to help you make the most of your time. You might set aside time to create these messages and send them out in the future, which is really, really wonderful. So I think the final thing that we want to be sure we definitely touch on for you is pricing. And so you can see it up there in the corner. This one is telling us the pricing would be no more than $2.72. What that's basically going into, and forgive me for just a second to make sure I walk you through this, but because we've taken care of compliance, only those messages that go out to those who've opted in are going to be potentially billable. So those are going to be messages that would cost you money. But drum roll please, every app gets free messages every billing cycle or month, depending on how you're billed. And so if I am a pro app user, I have 150 of those opted in messages that cost me $0. Now, once I go through those 150 messages, then I'm going to be paying for any overages. And that's where this projected number here is saying if every single one of these contacts opted in and you're over your free messages, this would be the maximum that you would pay. So we're really trying to make sure that that's upfront, and I think the thing I love about our pricing the most, and you would probably have some thoughts on this too, especially thinking from your wife's perspective, only paying for the messages that actually provide me value as a business is a huge selling point. I don't want to have to pay for those spray and pray experiences. I want to actually be sure that my messages are reaching my users that make sense.
Yeah. I think it also helps you make sure you're sending to people who are actually going to engage, right? Like you touched on, we're not going to shotgun a message out there. You want to be effective. You want to make sure that who you're communicating with, you're going to get a return on that communication. So I love that it's super available, very visible. It shows you right there exactly what you're going to pay.
Yeah.
I love that it's just the content messages, right? Just the ones that take out test messages, take out compliant messages.
Yeah.
All of those are covered by Keep. Everything else, though, the actual content that you're sending out to your customers and prospects, that's what you're paying for, right? And
Yes.
it reminds me of the only pay for what you need jingle, right?
Oh my
Maybe
gosh,
maybe
yes.
that's a little corny, but
Yes,
but,
that's exactly.
It's a phenomenal feature. I love it.
Thank
Love
you.
it.
Yeah, and finally, of course, we're going to be giving you insights. This is, of course, one of our testing experiences. So we only sent to one person at a time, but you can see here we're immediately giving you an insight into the value that you have. So we're going to tell you what made it out, what's pending opt-in, and what is unsubscribed. So lots of great information in the app helping you understand the value of this. There is a question from Tony on Facebook asking, how does this help my group? And to be honest with you, Tony, it would kind of depend on what your business is and how we might formulate that to you, and our coaches are phenomenal at that. I have talked to so many of our team members that are eager to help our small business owners figure out the best way. But I can just think about using your wife as an example, running a graphic design business. If I'm wanting to make sure that I'm communicating with my contacts, and maybe I have one contact who literally says, do not email me, I don't check my inbox, it's full of other things. Text is a great value. I'm still having a way to engage with that user. And then also maybe I'm running a lot of events and I'm not getting people showing up. This is a great way to make sure that you get people in the door, run specials. There's just a multitude of opportunities for this to help you in your business. It really does depend on exactly what you're doing, but the bottom line is you're getting communication to those users who are interested in making sure that, or to your contacts. I keep saying users. You're getting your messages to your contacts that want to engage with you. So,
and I think
definitely great.
Tony, we do have one bonus use case, and it might address exactly what you're looking for. So, but if by group you mean team, we've been talking about external communication, right? We've talked about messaging your prospects or your customers, your clients, but this can also be used and leveraged very well internally, right? How many times do you get, or how many notifications could you get from a Keep app on a daily basis if you're a sales rep, for example, right? I mean, there's so many notifications that come through, and it's hard to keep track of them all. On your phone, you can whip it out and you can know exactly what's going on. So you can certainly leverage this internally as well. There's some great value in making sure that the people who need to be notified of a new lead or a new sale or of a certain action to take in a fulfillment process, you can use texting for that use case as well.
Whew, I'm exhausted.
wow.
I feel like there's so much that we could
I
go
know,
into.
we
We
could
could just
keep
do this
going.
all day.
I know.
But we do want to respect your times. You have spent all of this time with us. I think, is there a place where we can send them if they have more questions? You can obviously drop them into the chat if you're watching the replay, but where could we send them if they want to know more information?
I believe they'll have a link in the chat. We're going to get that set up for you. You'll have a link in the chat where you can follow to get more information. you can always reach out to us. We have consultants ready to chat with you about these features, about how you can leverage them in your business if you have specific one-to-one questions that you need help with. But we'll get specific information for you in the chat. Again, feel free to reach out to us. And I just want to wrap this up. I mean, what a great half hour, 45 minutes that we've had together. Thank you, everyone, for your engagement, for your involvement, your questions. Thank you to Dan, to Stacy, to our wonderful team. And again, how exciting is it that text marketing is available in Keap? We know the chaos that exists. We know how difficult, how challenging it can be to grow a business. And we know that Keap and the tools and features that it have can help you overcome those challenges, overcome the chaos, grow your business, save time, and focus on what matters most. So thank you so much for being here. We really appreciate it. Anything you'd like to add before we wrap up?
Thank you so much for having us on. We have worked for 2 years as a company to get this here, so trust me, it is of high value. I might be partial, but it is definitely of high value. We hope you join the Keap family, and thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you, everyone, for joining us today.
Yeah. Okay, thank you, everyone. Have a good day.
See you next time.
See ya. Woo!
Not a lot of questions.